just picked up a new project. Gonna get this running and all pretty for my nephew. So that's gonna be another fun electric Mercedes Power Wheel thing. So we got the Mercedes to the shop. She is pretty dirty, but I'm hoping to get this running soon, and then we can get it painted, and then my nephew will match his aunt and have a cool little Power Wheels. So I've got to clean this up today right now because it's pretty dirty, and then we'll see if I can get it running. So this is what we're looking at right now. Doors open, really dirty. This is what I'm going to get cleaned up. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe it's another wiring issue with the radio, and if I can just switch that off, it'll work, because my nephew doesn't use the radio really much. So anyways, although he does like to play with it. Well, yeah, just gotta clean her up, maybe knock the windows out or paint over them, and then go from there. Now it's fairly clean in there, but I just took the seat off and that's still pretty dirty, so gotta clean that up. My brother was saying that there's an issue with the connectors. He's got a male but needs a female connector. So that part I'm gonna have to dive into a little bit, but I'm gonna get it cleaned up a little bit more, just because it's easier to work around. I know, let's do some magic. Dirty. Clean. It's not the greatest, but I mean, it's for a toddler, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Although the outside could be a little bit better, but we are planning on hopefully painting it for them. If not, they might be painting it, so I'll worry about that once I get it up and running. But let's dissect this apart real quick. So just like my Porsche, it's got a 6-volt motor that it comes with stock. And apparently it's got a 12-volt battery, where mine just had a 6-volt. So it might go a little bit quicker than mine did normally, but I gotta get this whole mess reattached, this whole mess, and then we can see if it's still going. Alright, so I hooked up the battery to the motor. It's got the proper connector on it, and then you can see that it actually lit up for one of the gauges. The radio actually does somewhat work, not well, but you know, power's on. However, nothing is happening when I push on that gas pedal. Okay then. Anyways, nothing's happening when I push on the gas pedal. So something is not communicating that, or the battery is not charged enough, or the motor is not getting, you know, the power, or the motor is out. So I have to take this all out and see exactly what's going on with the wire, the motor, if it's even working, and we'll go from there. While I was taking it apart, come to find out, it's got a gearbox issue, just like mine did. So the gearbox isn't moving, which is already not a good sign, because I've got 2 brand new gearboxes. They were on 18-volt motors, so of course it's gonna ruin the plastic gears, but I might not have a replacement for this one. So I'm gonna, again, take it apart still and dissect it. I just found that out, and that's not super awesome. So I forgot to hit record when I took the gearbox apart, but apparently the gears are fine. So what they seem like anyways. I mean, they're pretty dirty in there, but that's not really what matters. I mean, the oil probably used to be a bright yellow like mine did, but again, not that important. So I'm gonna put this back together, and then I will check the voltage on the motor and see if that's going. However, I did notice, and I'll show you guys really quick. So it's dangling here because it's got the second blue wire that branches off into here, as well as the second yellow wire that branches off into this wiring right here. So unfortunately I don't have the ease of just cutting these, doing what I want with them, because I had to figure out what these two wires go to. However, it does look like someone else spliced them already, possibly. I don't know if it comes factory like this, because I don't remember my Porsche looking like this. But it's possible, I could be very wrong. Either way, I gotta go check the voltage on the motor and see if that works. So probably we'll just cut it here and then re-splice it together so I don't have to mess with any of this stuff that's up here. So I was completely wrong. I don't have to cut the wires. Again, I'm still learning, which is why they're not in a rush to get this, and it's just gonna be a process. But I can just check the voltage with touching the metal that's on the actual motor itself with their voltage meter once I get this all plugged back in, and see if the motor is getting voltage. If it is, then that's most likely an issue with the battery not providing enough power. It's not fully charged. So it's turning on the car but not pushing the car. So I'm gonna plug this back in really quick. And woo! So apparently I didn't have to check voltage because that decided just to work right away. I don't know. So is it the gearbox connection now that it's having issues with? That's the next question. So I guess I can put this together, plug it back into the battery, and see if that's running the gearbox. So far, it seems to be working perfectly fine. It just needed a wake up. I don't really know. But I'll get this back together with the motor on it and then see if this will push the gearbox. Also, I think there was a Black Widow in there. I don't know. It's dead now. Alright, so gotta plug motor back into the battery and see if we can get this gearbox to move. It moves! I don't know what it needed and why that wasn't working before, but I'm gonna hook it all back up and see if we can get it to actually run on its own power. These wires are what the issue is. So if we turn it on, see it's on, push the gas pedal, nothing happens to the motor. So there's somewhere losing signal or voltage with these wires. So I'm gonna get this little motherboard off and kind of follow the wires and see where the voltage stops. Hopefully we don't have to pull the pedal out and redo that, but we'll see. All right, so we're checking the voltage on the little circuit board to see where are we losing power. And so that's got power. No. It looks like the red and orange has the power that's leading down because these all don't. So I'm going to follow the red and orange and see where that power is going to and see if it's supposed to be going to here instead to provide power for the motor. Following those wires, we found out a bunch of stuff. Basically, it's all under right here. And that is what we jumbled through. Basically the red wire is connected to the white wire somehow or another. It's just a lot going on. Anyways, we followed that wire to the gas pedal. Now by the looks of it, we thought it was for sure the gas pedal. However, once we did the voltage on it again to test, oh, car has to be on. So that's getting power. That one is. So both getting power. Definitely not that gas pedal. So we're following that red wire to see why that red wire isn't working, because that seems to be where the power is getting lost. Somewhere in that red wire because it's hooked up to the white wire. And the white wire that's connected to the gas pedal is providing the power, and the white wire connected to the power is providing power. So in between all of that is the red wire that is losing the power. And the radio works on this too perfectly fine. So once we get that all hooked up better, the car should be working and hopefully I can actually ride it today. Again, not meant for me, meant for my nephew, but why not? So scratch that last update. I was wrong about the wires once again. So this is the issue. So this does not matter. This little line, the prong that doesn't have a wire, This I'm calling black wire because it has this, but they're both white. This provides the power. Now this provides the accelerating, this white wire right here on the end. When you push the gas pedal down, that's the only time it provides voltage. So somewhere in that wire, wherever that's going to, the voltage is being lost, and so the signal from the gas pedal being pushed down is not being received by the motor. So once we find out where the power is getting lost with the gas pedal and the motor, we'll be able to figure out why those two aren't connecting, and then it should be able to go. So this is right here. This is white wire. This is what I call black wire. So white wire is going with black wire into this sheeting, which goes all the way up to here. It does go into this connector right here, which turns into a red wire, which goes into the dash. So somewhere in here, these all work. So that wire can't be leading to these because it wouldn't be working right now. So it's got to be leading, we believe, to the drive and reverse shifter. So we're gonna have to take the dash off to see where that wire goes and why it's not connecting and working properly. So I got the dash off camera because I couldn't figure it out and I had to get Brandon's help, but I actually was able to figure out this rod was holding it onto the actual little column here, and also was making it so this doesn't rotate 360 degrees. So I'm assuming there used to be a bolt in there, but this pretty much does the job. I don't really see a reason to change it. Anyways, dash is out, so I have to take off all of the black stuff that's back here, because this is the red wire that it goes to. So we're trying to follow that through here, so black stuff has to come off. Now that I have the dash apart, I can follow this red wire, which is right here, nice and convenient. And it looks like it goes to this other little circuit board, I believe. Yeah. Oh, so that's nice how it's, you know, soldered or glued or whatever you want to call this on. Alright, so checking the voltage now for this red wire, and I have it plugged in to the battery. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. Let's see if anywhere else is getting voltage. That's not getting voltage. That's not getting voltage. Maybe it's a circuit board itself, which doesn't make sense because other stuff is getting voltage. Nope, no voltage. So I'm going to take off the circuit and see if it's the circuit board itself or if it's that red wire. Because it looks like it's the circuit board, and I don't know how easy these circuit boards are to find. Alright, so we found out some bad news.
Well, so this switch is where the power goes from the gas pedal. I kind of want to look and see underneath if it splits power off to something else. But I don't see where this leads into that. Plus, we found a blue wire that is just cut off. So I don't know if that's missing something or if it's just not supposed to be hooked up. And then this switch, which doesn't have any wires that go to this piece, is the forward and backward switch. So we gotta either trace stuff or figure out what this might be doing.
So we followed the wrong wire. Apparently the white wire that's down below for the accelerating down here, this guy right here, that actually leads to this pink wire that leads to the little switch that's up front on the dash next to the steering wheel, which is the, what is that?
That's the forward backwards. So that's this.
Oh, okay. So we have to figure out
if voltage comes out of this. So voltage is hopefully going in.
Yeah.
And then we got to see if we can switch it to take voltage out of one of these two.
Oh.
And then if it comes out of here,
yeah,
we can check over here and make sure that voltage goes into this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's going to be one of these two relays, and that goes to the power for the motor. So this could be bad out of all of it, but we just want to make sure that power is getting to where it needs to go. And if it's not coming out of here, but it's getting to that, then this is bad.
All right, so more voltage reading from the voltage meter.
So battery on, radio's on. Let me get to the button here. Let's see, where is...
Yep. It's reading.
Okay.
Yep.
So that is going in.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so nothing happens when we switch this. So we got to take the switch out so we can see if either this isn't contacting it anymore and the switch actually works, or if the switch is broken. And then replacing the switch should do it because no power is coming out of it.
Okay, but we just had to find that switch though, and unplug.
I mean, it shouldn't be too
unplug
bad.
these, right?
Yeah, so we'll pull those off, but these two screws should lift this off.
Okay.
And then we should be able to see in there.
Okay.
Come on. There you
go. All the dust that comes out.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
So I'm just trying to see what might be in there as to why it's not transferring power. Where's on? Okay. Can you hold that way? 0.2, so that's not getting enough. Okay.
There you go.
I didn't mean to do that. So we just got to find a switch.
I don't think this thing runs.
I mean, you're correct. It doesn't run. So I'm going to take these off. Okay.
What is connecting them together do?
That just bypasses the switch.
Okay.
So let's see if we can get it to work by touching two of these together.
All right. So we should see the wheel turn basically if that works.
Yeah.
Yep. That's where the motor side is. So it's
So we need a 3-prong switch.
The next day.
Hello. We went to Elliott's and got a replacement switch, which I'm just now realizing I probably should have filmed because Elliott's was awesome. They have a surplus next door to their store now with like millions of airplane parts and all these crazy switches and really old computers and monitors and stuff for cheap. So check out Elliott's for all your electronic needs. Anyways, this is the replacement little switch that we got. We're hoping it works because we did get one from O'Reilly. The issue is that it has to be an on-on switch, meaning when you switch it, it still is providing power. It's not an on-off switch. And that is how the gears change. That's drive and reverse. And so on, it's still providing power, it's just going the opposite direction. I'm gonna go plug these 3 little prongs in and see if this will make drive and reverse work. If so, I just had to put it all back together, maybe make it look a little bit nicer for my nephew, and then send it on its way. So let's go do that. All right, so plugging in the new one. So the pink one has to go to the center. So center's in. Now this is gonna matter for the orientation, whether drive or reverse, but for the time being, we will just slide these guys on just to see if it works. And we power on, so everything's on, and we push gas. Let's see if it works. We got reverse, change the switch, and we have drive, so it works. Awesome. Okay, now I have to get all this back together and then take it for a test drive. So from this to, now it's all back together. Now to take it on its maiden voyage.